Reminisce and parents. I usually have two grandfathers. Grandfather from my father's side, he was a medicine man. He treated a lot of people with his herbal medicine. He had a donkey that was his transportation. When we were very small, sometimes we hear a sound on the outside like we were all locked up inside the house. But once we hear that sound, we run outside. When we look, we see our grandfather donkey, fully loaded. But my grandfather was not there. And I think that's the way the donkey communicates to us that someone is outside. He brings lots of food. I was the biggest one, so I usually have to unload that donkey. And wait until my grandfather come. Then he would take the donkey and tie the donkey someplace. While unloading that donkey, the pad on the donkey, because he have to put this pad on the donkey, and there's hamper, they call it. That's where he put all his stuff on both sides of the donkey. Lots of mangoes, even though we have mangoes, but lots of mangoes. The side of a pig. And I was smart enough to take that pig and hang it over the fire. During this time, my father was already ill. And he sleeps almost all day. We always have to wake him up to feed him, because he got hit by lightning, and he was, after returning from the hospital after quite a few months, he just sleep all the time. And I remember he told my mom that she will have to get a job to help us. Anyway, that was part of this story. My other grandfather, he usually come and he had a bag, he call it his side bag. And he got a lot of food, like provisions in that bag. And then he would give it to us. And even though we were younger, we did not have a real adult around us to help us. So once my mom went away to work, she come back like every other week, bring whatever she could bring. She wash our clothes, then she returned back to work. Yeah, that is our life in the village. Our neighbor was maybe half mile away, but we never, well, me in particular, never actually go to their house. But after the age, I would say 13, 14, I went to my aunt and told her I'm going to run away. She gave me direction, sent me to another part of the island. Of course, I didn't know that I had family there. She just gave me direction. And she said to me, don't carry your belly in your hand. She gave me a glass of water. She gave me a biscuit. That's all she had. And then she gave me a 50 cent. With Marcus Garvey on it, of course. My hero. Since thereafter, I started to do work, to help my father. When I get a $10, I would send 5 home to my father. And I keep 5 for myself because I slept in construction until one day This man by the name of Owen Bidasi, he is the one who actually took me off of construction after hearing my story. He let me live in his house. His wife was good to me. Her name is June, but we call her Aunt Polly. Yes. And she, Aunt Polly, she went out and she buy me uniform to go to school. Of course, my schooling, when I was with my father first started to teach us, me and my sister, especially from the Bible. Yeah. And when my schooling, I remember I leave, say, grade school, back home we call it infant school, so grade 1, grade 2. While I was in grade 2, the same year I started grade 2, I finished grade 2. Because we didn't have, my father wasn't able to, I would say, enforce education upon us. But my father always teaches me, honor thy mother and thy father, so that thy days will be lasting upon the land. So I always hear the voice of my father. While in the house of the Bidasi, I went to this school. It was too much for me. So by the time I was, say, 17 years old, I quit from that school. I just stopped because I told him the book that they gave me to read, I didn't understand the book. I could not manage the book. So the Bidasi took me around with him and he said to me, look, and you will learn. He was a master mechanic. He worked on trucks, cars, everything you put before him. Air conditioning, refrigeration, gas appliances. And so, thereafter, I kind of create myself. I remember my mother. I started to learn about children when my last sister, Blandel, I usually have to feed her because my mother would leave them with me, of course, it's 5 of us, so I'm the biggest one. I remember my cousin, he's in Philadelphia now. He said to me, my father spanked me. Back home we say, beat me. And he said he has no clue why my father beat me. But as I grew up, my father never wanted us to play with other children. I remember I usually make a gig, they call it tap in the book. And we put a string around it. I see it in the book, I make it the same way. And I usually play it. So I think because my father didn't want us to play with other children, which is my cousins, he always beat me. He always say, go and take up a book. Which I don't think it was a bad thing. Because after I grew up, I saw lots of people. Some people have only one eye. I think my father didn't want me to have one eye, so maybe that's why he usually beat me. I don't know what was in his mind. I usually climb tree. My cousin and I, we climb tree and we take turn and take an axe and chop down the tree. While I was in the top of the tree, we say we were getting sweet ride. And one day, the reason why I stopped doing it was one time the tree come down and a limb of the tree stick me just below my nose. And it was bleeding so much. If my father knew that's what happened, I probably wouldn't be alive. But he asked me what cut my nose. And I said to him, I was passing the orange tree because we got a tank full with water. And also we got a orange tree. So between the tank and the orange tree, I told my father I was walking and I don't know what happened, and the limb of the orange tree stick me on my nose. I was smart enough to say that. And then what my father did was he took a machete. He walked up to that orange tree and he limbed the tree. He cut off all those limbs that was close to my head. The poor orange tree. It really grieved me after a while, So, as I grew up, I realized that we didn't have people to teach us anything. We didn't have people to say, if you go on the rooftop and jump off, your feet would broke. We didn't. My brothers and I, we usually do that because there was a big tall rock in front of the house. So we usually go on top of the house, on the roof, and take turn and jump on top of the rock. Mother is not home, father is not home. We were basically unprotected and doing a lot of experimental things. One of them was my father had a big radio with 2 big buttons in front of it, and must be 6 keys, look like a piano key. So what I did, me and my sister, we were trying to look through the hole of where the sound come from, looking for the man that was talking. I could not see the man that was talking. So what I did, I took a steak knife, I opened the back of the radio, and I opened up most of the components that's inside the radio. And I couldn't see the man. And I said to my sister, the man must be so small, we can't see them. Right? After that, he had a clock that go off in the morning. I look on the clock and I saw the hand of the clock going around. I couldn't figure why he's going around. So I opened the clock also. Look in the back of the clock and I saw the spring going back and forth. I touched the spring, the next thing the clock stopped work. So I was a little genius, I guess. But anyway, I never forget what I did. And so when I grew up, I bought my father a radio. When the battery is done, he just put it in the sun and it charged up. And he had it. I bought him a flashlight that also charged by the sun, because most of the time I remember when we were small, we didn't have battery for the radio. So, after leaving home at the age of 14 until today, I'm over 60 and I never go back home. I was always out working, trying to find a way to make my family better. I was able to sponsor my mother. I went away to sponsor my mother. She lived with me for 26 years. Thank God I did that. I tried to help my father to sponsor him. And I didn't know that my father had a passport with a £5 note, a British, we usually use pound note, cake up inside of it from before I was born. But then I told him I'm going to send for him, and he said to me, he can't fly in a plane. His head cannot stand the flight. My dear beloved Aunt Laura, God, she was the one who also a great member of the family. She always feed us. She did not live She live in a different parish. Every other week or twice a month, she come with a box on her head, and two of my cousins, Danny, Leonard, Owen. Yeah. They feed us. I try to sponsor my aunt. My aunt told me she cannot fly in a plane. Why? Because she has a stomach problem and every minute she have to go to the washroom. I laugh. Oh. I said, Aunt, there's lots of washroom in the plane, maybe like 6. So you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, we were talking, then after that, she left. Went inside the house. There was a lady, we call her Mother Broomfield. She was a minister of the church actually, that my aunt go to. Mother Broomfield told me, Mark, there's nothing wrong with aunt. Long before you were born, she get opportunity to go to England and she refused. Because she's scared of the plane. Because, I got a determined spirit, I would say, to help my people. And when I start to work and get real money, I did have of course, Western Union told me I have 22 members of my family on my paycheck, and they bar me from sending money. I send in too much money out of the country. And it's not like I was working a lot of money, I started at $17.25 until it go to $26 an hour. But I always send money back home, and I'm really happy. I can do that, and I love my nieces and my nephew. They have absolutely no idea how much love I have for them. Absolutely no idea. One of my nieces died recently, and she totally broke my heart because she listened to me, but when she turned her back, it's a different story. That's the problem with children. Yes, uncle, yes, uncle, yes, uncle. But when I turned, I guess they were like me. My father never tell me to clean the house. My mother never tell me to clean the house. But when my father gone, me and my brothers, we have lime pit. We dig the whitest part of the lime. We mix it up and take it and paint the whole house white. These are the things that we do behind our parents' back. My sister and I, we usually shine the house. We always watch grandfather. He chip the bark from the mahogany and he boil it and turn it into a liquid dye. We use it and we dye our floor. I think the flooring was made from wood. I think it's mahogany or probably cedar. But anyway, we dye that floor. We shine that house. When people come to visit, they thought there was an adult upkeeping the house, but it was just me and my sister Rose and Fitzroy and James. So they usually send, my uncle was in the States. God bless his soul. Unfortunately, he passed away. When he went to the States in the 60s, when I finally meet him face to face after he left our home and he took my B-class book with him. He told me he usually make $1.50 an hour in the States. And my uncle makes sure we have things. Some people usually, he trusts people. He gave them things to give us. We didn't get what my uncle sent. The only time we get barrels of stuff was when Uncle Mac, he was like a small god coming to visit us. We were so happy. We shout, we dance. Yeah, this is my life. And I'm still struggling. I'm still struggling. Thanks for listening.